Let's jump into one of history's biggest game changers, the invention of money. Imagine a world where every transaction meant haggling, weighing, and hoping you weren't being cheated. The story of how we moved from that chaos to the coins in your pocket is more surprising than you might think. Most people credit the Greeks or Romans for inventing money, picturing marble columns and bustling forums. But the real pioneers were the Lydians, a small but mighty kingdom nestled in what's now Western Turkey. Chances are you've never heard of them, but their innovation changed the world forever. Their secret weapon? Electrum, a rare, naturally occurring blend of gold and silver. Lydian rivers sparkled with this precious alloy, and the locals quickly realized its potential. Instead of just admiring these shiny nuggets, they saw an opportunity to revolutionize trade. Before coins, trade was a complicated dance. People bartered goods, weighed hunks of metal, and argued endlessly about purity and value. Imagine trying to buy bread with a chunk of metal, hoping the baker agreed on its worth. Every deal was a gamble, and trust was in short supply. The Lydians changed everything by melting down electrum and stamping it into standardized blobs, each marked with a royal seal, often a fierce lion's head. This wasn't just decoration, it was a symbol of trust, a promise from the king himself that each coin held real value. That stamp was more than just a mark. It was the world's first certified currency. For the first time, people could trade with confidence, knowing the coin in their hand was worth exactly what it claimed. The king's guarantee turned simple metal into something magical: money. This wasn't just about making trade easier, it was about inventing portable, government-backed wealth. Suddenly, value could be carried in a pouch, exchanged anywhere, and trusted by everyone. The Lydians had created a tool that would shape economies for millennia. Their coins didn't just make markets more efficient, they supercharged the entire economy. With reliable money, the Lydians could pay soldiers, fund grand building projects, and extend their influence far beyond their borders. Money became a weapon, a tool for power, and a symbol of civilization. Every time you use money, whether it's a coin, a bill, or a digital transfer, you're tapping into a system born in ancient Lydia. The simple act of buying a coffee or paying for a bus ride is rooted in their revolutionary idea. The Lydians didn't just make coins, they invented the very concept of riches. For the first time, wealth could be measured, stored, and displayed. Their coins became symbols of prosperity, sparking dreams of fortune that still drive us today. So as we travel back in time, remember, we're exploring the birthplace of an idea that underpins our entire modern world. The next time you hold a coin, think of the Lydians and their rivers of gold and silver, and how their bold experiment echoes through every transaction you make. Pack your bags. We're heading to ancient Turkey to uncover the secrets of the kingdom that gave us money, and to walk in the footsteps of the people who forever changed the way we live, trade, and dream of wealth. So, where exactly was Lydia? To truly understand this ancient kingdom, we need to look beyond the myths and legends and pinpoint its place on the map. Lydia was not just a name in old texts, it was a real, thriving civilization with a unique geography that shaped its destiny. Look to Western Turkey, Anatolia, specifically the provinces of Manisa and Usak. This region, nestled between the Aegean coast and the interior highlands, was the heartland of the Lydian people. Its rolling hills, fertile valleys, and strategic location made it a crossroads of cultures and commerce. The Lydians were perfectly positioned between the great Eastern empires, like Persia and Assyria, and the bustling Greek city-states to the west. This made them the ultimate ancient middlemen, controlling vital trade routes that connected two worlds. Caravans, merchants, and travelers constantly passed through their lands, bringing with them not just goods, but also new ideas and technologies. Their capital, Sardis, sat at the foot of Mount Tmolus and along the Pactolus River, a city famed for its imposing acropolis, grand temples, and bustling markets. Sardis was more than just a political center, it was a vibrant hub where people from all over the ancient world gathered to trade, worship, and share stories. Lydia's geography was its destiny. Fertile plains provided abundant food, while the surrounding mountains were rich in gold and silver. The landscape itself seemed to promise prosperity, and the rivers that flowed through the region were lifelines for both agriculture and trade. The Pactolus River in particular brought electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver, right to their doorstep. This shimmering resource was legendary in the ancient world, and it played a crucial role in Lydia's rise to power. This natural fortune fueled their rise and made them a hub for trade and innovation. Markets in Lydia bustled with activity, as traders exchanged not only metals and textiles, but also stories, customs, and inventions from distant lands. Lydia was a bridge between East and West, absorbing and spreading culture, goods, and ideas. Its people were known for their openness to new influences, blending Greek, Persian, and local traditions into something uniquely Lydian. Their mastery of trade and resources set them apart. Lydian craftsmen were renowned for their skill, and their innovations, like the world's first coins, would change history forever. Understanding their location is key to understanding their power. The story of Lydia is the story of a land where geography, resources, and culture came together to create a kingdom that shaped the ancient world in ways we still feel today. The Lydians' legendary wealth started in the Pactolus River, a river of gold, according to ancient writers. They used sheepskins to trap electrum dust, a clever technique that inspired the myth of the Golden Fleece. This easy access to precious metal gave Lydian kings a resource their rivals could only dream of. With this wealth, they built armies, temples, and a powerful capital. But they didn't just hoard their gold, they innovated. The real breakthrough came when they transformed raw electrum into something new, coinage. The river was the foundation, but Lydian ingenuity was the true treasure. They were about to change the world's economy forever. Around 650 BCE, in the ancient kingdom of Lydia, a remarkable transformation was underway. Under the rule of King Alyattes, the Lydians would make history in a way that would change the world forever. The Lydians discovered that by taking electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver, they could shape it into small, uniform lumps. These lumps were then carefully stamped with a royal seal, marking them as official and trustworthy. This was more than just a mark, it was a promise from the king himself that each piece held a specific value. These stamped pieces of metal became the world's very first coins, a revolutionary idea that would echo through the ages. Before coins, trade was a complicated affair. People had to barter goods or weigh out precious metals, which was slow, uncertain, and often risky. With coins, transactions became faster, simpler, and far more reliable. Suddenly, trust in trade didn't depend on the honesty of strangers, but on the authority of the king's seal. The king's stamp meant no more weighing or testing metal for purity. Every coin was guaranteed to be worth exactly what it claimed, making commerce smoother and more efficient than ever before. This innovation didn't just make life easier for merchants, it centralized economic power in the hands of the king, who could now pay soldiers, collect taxes, and fund grand public works with unprecedented efficiency. The state itself became stronger, able to organize and control resources on a scale never seen before. Money was no longer just a means of exchange, it became a powerful tool of statecraft, a symbol of authority, and a way for rulers to project their power far beyond their borders. The idea of coinage spread rapidly, first to the neighboring Greek city-states, and then across the entire ancient world. Everywhere coins traveled, they brought new possibilities for trade, wealth, and connection. The Lydians had created more than just a new form of money. They had invented a universal language of commerce, one that merchants from distant lands could all understand and trust. Every coin in your pocket today, no matter where you are in the world, is a direct descendant of those first electrum coins struck in Lydia. The simple act of stamping metal with a seal set in motion a chain of events that shaped economies and societies for millennia. The Lydians didn't just accumulate wealth, they invented the very concept of being rich, of storing and displaying value in a way that everyone could recognize. The world would never be the same. The invention of coinage marked the dawn of a new era, one where prosperity, power, and progress could be measured, exchanged, and multiplied. Lydia's coins were the spark that ignited the global economy, lighting the way for civilizations to connect, trade, and thrive across continents and centuries. While Croesus is famous, it was his father, King Alyattes, who built Lydia's golden age. Alyattes ruled for nearly 50 years, transforming Lydia into an empire through military might and smart diplomacy. He popularized coinage, funding expansion and cementing his power. Alyattes fought the Greeks and the Medes, with one battle famously ending in a solar eclipse, an omen that led to peace. He turned Greek cities into tribute-paying vassals, filling Lydia's treasury. Under Alyattes, Sardis became a magnificent capital, and Lydia flourished. His reign set the stage for Croesus's legendary wealth. Alyattes gave Lydia its Midas touch. Rich as Croesus, that's the legacy of Lydia's last and most famous king. Croesus inherited a booming empire and took Lydian coinage to the next level. He issued the world's first pure gold and silver coins, creating a flexible, precise monetary system. Croesus's generosity was legendary. He showered the oracle at Delphi with gold, building alliances and showing off his wealth. His court dazzled visitors from across the world. The story of Croesus and the wise Athenian Solon became a classic fable. True happiness isn't found in riches, but in virtue. Croesus's hubris would soon be tested. His fortune became a cautionary tale for generations. The king who defined wealth would soon learn its limits. With his kingdom at its peak, Croesus eyed the rising Persian Empire. He consulted the oracle at Delphi, who told him, "If you cross the Halys River, you will destroy a great empire." Croesus, confident, attacked Persia, sure the prophecy meant Persian defeat. But Cyrus the Great outmaneuvered him, capturing Sardis in a surprise winter campaign. Only then did Croesus realize the great empire destroyed was his own. The prophecy was true, but his hubris blinded him. Croesus's fall became a lesson in the dangers of pride and the unpredictability of fate. The Lydian kingdom was no more. Lydia's fall didn't erase its influence, it spread it. The Persians adopted Lydian coinage, carrying the idea of money across their vast empire. This single innovation transformed trade, taxation, and the very structure of society. Every major civilization that followed built on the Lydian foundation. The concept of state-backed, stamped currency is a Lydian legacy. Sardis remained important for centuries, and Lydian art and stories influenced the Greeks and beyond. The tale of Croesus became a timeless warning about wealth and hubris. The Lydians gave the world not just gold coins but golden lessons. Their true power was in their ideas. Lydia's legacy is still with us, every time we use money. Our journey through Lydia has revealed how a small kingdom changed the world with the invention of money. The story isn't over. Archaeologists are still uncovering new secrets in Sardis and beyond. Every discovery adds another page to the story of the Lydians. History is full of lost treasures and forgotten empires waiting to be explored. If you enjoyed this adventure, subscribe and join us for the next expedition. There's a whole world of history to uncover together. The past is calling and the search is on. See you out there. See you.